Here is a message on behalf of 3.5 million Australians who are deaf, hard of hearing or have an ear or balance disorder, who are still waiting to be heard. We all strongly support the new Prime Minister Scott Morrison's belief in a fair go for having a go. I am the Chair of Deafness Forum Australia, which for the past several years have led a coalition of 40 organisations in the deafness sector under the banner of Break the Sound Barrier campaign. As a result of our work, the government held a National Parliamentary Inquiry into hearing health and wellbeing of Australia. Its report makes 22 recommendations that will make very significant life-changing difference across all issues surrounding hearing health and deafness for all Australians. We have successfully lobbied all state and territory health ministers. In fact, just recently at the Health Ministers' COAG, they discussed the notion of a real national strategy to address the enormous social and economic costs of hearing health and wellbeing for the first time ever. So, after 4 years of knocking on doors, it was looking like the Australian government would listen at last. But in the dying days of Mr Turnbull's Prime Ministership, the government did the unthinkable. It rejected all but one of the 22 recommendations from its own parliamentary inquiry report waiting to be heard. The government said that deafness and hearing health is not a national priority. It's hard to believe that the government could ignore the $15 billion a year that hearing loss costs the Australian economy. That's $15 billion every year, and it will grow. It will be a runaway economic burden on future Australians, the community, taxpayers and governments. So what are we left with? No national plan to address hearing health and wellbeing in Australia. Until there is. It's not going to go away. And neither will we. To our country's leaders, we say, have another think about your rejection of those 22 recommendations. It is not too late to make many friends in the electorate, and at little cost before the next federal election. We are ready, Prime Minister Morrison. Will you give 3.5 million Australians a fair go by having a go?